Welcome to the Staying Grounded Walking Tour app. 歡迎參加戶外行. The walking tour in English that you have selected takes you through three very different experiences of Hong Kong Island: the Hong Kong Cemetery, the Happy Valley Recreation Grounds, and Causeway Bay. My name is Jacqueline Heggli. I grew up in Hong Kong and I designed this walking experience. I'll be accompanying you on this journey, sharing with you the layers of history embedded in these fascinating landscapes, and how this walking tour represents the wider range of experiences you can find in this city. This project began when I was put in touch with a Hong Kong-based NGO called Walk DVRC, who are pushing for the pedestrianisation of a main road on Hong Kong Island. I didn't question why Walk DVRC exists. Increasingly prioritised for vehicles and development, it is well understood that Hong Kong's ground experience is deteriorating. Citizens primarily experience their city encased underground through an extensive train network or above ground from building to building, disconnected from topography and the external world. In 2018, Walk DVRC held a design competition to reimagine the road as a more walkable, pedestrian-prioritised space. And while the competition attracted a number of visually impressive submissions from well-known practices around the world, I couldn't see Hong Kong in any of them. I felt as if I could have been looking at designs for any Asian city. At the same time, I felt sure there were other areas of Hong Kong Island in much more urgent need of attention. So to gain a better understanding of Hong Kong Island's ground experience and where there might be gaps in that experience, I decided to document the different types of activity found along the historically significant tram route that stretches from one end of the island to another, running through several different neighbourhoods. This mapping exercise allowed me to identify areas where a variety of different activities were taking place, as well as areas with little to no activity. It then became necessary to analyse these areas in Google Maps Street View in order to speculate how these spaces function at ground level and what the reasons were for their lack of activity in such a dense urban area where open space is so valuable. Spatial and experiential explorations of Wong Nai Chung Road revealed the lost potential of Happy Valley as a site of historical, social and ecological significance, in main part due to a severed connection caused by vehicular infrastructure and development. Working with strategies of reconnection, wayfinding, and exposure, this project offers a new connected pedestrian experience linking the Hong Kong Cemetery, Happy Valley Recreation Grounds, and the city. Our walk will begin at the top of the cemetery, walking down to the entrance of the new pedestrian underpass before taking it into the recreation grounds that can be found in the middle of the Happy Valley Racecourse. Finally, we'll exit the recreation grounds and link back to Causeway Bay MTR station and to the rest of the city. Here we are at our first stop, the Hong Kong Cemetery. The cemetery, together with the racecourse and recreation grounds, represent Hong Kong's colonial history. Originally a swampy marshland used to grow rice, the British Army set up camp here in 1840 during the First Opium War. The mosquito-ridden swampland soon spread malaria, killing many in the army. The camp soon closed, left as the city's first cemetery. China ceded Hong Kong to the British in 1841, and the valley was drained to build a racecourse for British expats. Not only rich in human history, this 10-hectare site is rich in ecological value. A rare collection of native and exotic plant species, as well as butterfly, bat, moth, and civet species call this cemetery home. At this stop, you'll see a number of beautiful old frangipani trees, planted intentionally decades ago to drop white and yellow flowers on the tombs every year. Walk to the green railings on the right, and you'll find a towering Chinese banyan tree, a food source for birds, bats, moths, and the masked palm civet. Running along the ground on the edge of the pathway, you will find subtle historical and ecological indicators inscribed into the galvanized iron, a durable material that is ubiquitous with the city and can be found everywhere from letterboxes to open-air food stall structures. Also inscribed are directional markers to help you navigate the space. Use the north arrow and elevation information to guide you to the next stop. A reminder that Wong Nai Chung Road and the entrance to the pedestrian underpass can be found in the northeast corner of the cemetery at an elevation of 2 meters. Prior to this project, it was extremely difficult and unpleasant to access the road from the cemetery and vice versa. This continuous solid wall blocked visibility and access. Removing the wall allowed us to reclaim leftover space from within the cemetery and provide more space for the pedestrian path, as well as introduce access between the cemetery and the road. Still next to a busy road and flyover, this has been designed as a transitional space, an entry point into the pedestrian underpass. As you walk down into the underpass, take notice of the walls. They reflect the layers of geology found on this site. Wong Nai Chung Road is part of a geographic gap through the middle of the island. The literal translation of Wong Nai Chung is gorge that yellow mud is gushing out of, which provides clues as to what could have been found here prior to development. This is evidenced by the layers of alluvium soil found on site, deposits left by flowing floodwater. As you move further down into the underpass, you'll also see the underlying bedrock of Kowloon granite. The pedestrian underpass will take you underneath Wong Nai Chung Road and the Happy Valley Racecourse into the recreation grounds found in the middle. Don't forget to check out the new Environmental History Museum that was built alongside the underpass, the first of its kind in Hong Kong. As you exit the pedestrian underpass, you'll come out into a space where you can continue moving through quickly if you wish, or stop and rest for a moment in the seating that doubles as retaining walls for plant life. The gradual design of the steps has been designed to maximize the space for plant life and for the community. The recreation grounds has huge potential to act as a multifunctional community hub like other sports grounds on Hong Kong Island, but until now it hasn't had the access or space to do so. The display of underlying geology continues from the underpass, accompanied by a variety of tree and plant species found to be thriving at the bottom of the cemetery, where the conditions are similar. At the top of this space, looking back, you'll see that this was originally used as a car park, which seems like a huge waste of such valuable open space. You are now able to get a great view of the horse racing track that circles the recreation grounds. This track is the reason that an open space this large still exists on Hong Kong Island. The size of the space allows for a unique view of the soaring buildings that surround it. Next, we'll move through the recreation grounds and use the existing exit to come out onto the road that will take us to Causeway Bay MTR station, which will quickly reconnect you to wherever your next stop might be in this amazing city. Interventions to the existing paving reveal the location of the original coastline of Hong Kong Island before land reclamation, as well as the subsequent reclamation projects that followed. Like reclaimed land itself, the introduced paving is made from artificially imported material, but instead of cement and earth, construction and demolition waste is used, of which there is an endless supply in Hong Kong. The aim of these subtle interventions is to make people aware of just how much land that they use day to day has been taken from the sea, because it's a shocking amount. Reclaimed land accommodates about 27% of the city's population and as much as 70% of Hong Kong's commercial activities. With more reclamation projects on the horizon, these revelations only support the value and importance of making the most of the spaces we already have. You have reached the end of this walking tour. I hope you enjoyed experiencing the stories behind the evolution of Hong Kong's fascinating urban landscape. Until next time, thank you for listening.